the original embalming room. I had the pleasure of talking to the guy that owns the business next door. Oddly enough, because this is a small town, you start to figure out some really cool factoids. And he worked here when it was the funeral home. He helped with all of the bodies and things, and he was kind of on that path where he was trying to figure out if he wanted to be a mortician or if he wanted to do something else. So he actually walked me through the building and told me some interesting information. Where this little cutout is, there was a high-powered air conditioner in here to keep the bodies cool. So there was actually no cooling refrigerator unit in this building. I'm sorry, I keep making that go off. So they would use that to cool the bodies. They would bring them in here, and once they were embalmed, there was no need to refrigerate them after that point. I asked him where did you guys keep it? Because this was a pretty hopping place back in the day. A lot of families used this as their funeral home, and he said at times they would just put them wherever they could fit them, in office spaces, in their caskets, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They would just put them wherever they could fit them, and then, cycle through the services until they could, get everybody buried and their services finished. What I'm sitting on is a Civil War era cooling table. This is not original to the building. I bought this in Omaha from an oddity shop because it was super cool. Feel free to sit on it and use it if you want. You can move it wherever you want to on the first floor. I don't care. It has wheels. It's kind of heavy and it stinks. So, are you guys familiar with cooling tables and what they were used for? Okay, so you said no. Do you want to know? Okay, so back in the day, they would use cooling tables, and it helped facilitate home funerals. Typically, they're made of wood, and they have a lot of holes in them, and they would put ice underneath it, and it would cool the wood, and it would keep the body cold until burial.
Somebody turn that off.
So,
Let's turn it around.
Yeah, there you go. Just turn, yeah.
so this one included, they would fill them, and they'd have a little handle on them. So when the family called, the mortician would take their cooling table to the family. They would set it up, they would decorate it, put ice under it, put the decedent on top of it. And that's where they would stay for all of the home funeral stuff. Home funerals were pretty popular. Not everybody could afford to have a funeral in a funeral home. Probably up until like the 1930s, 40s, people typically had their funerals at home in the front parlors and stuff. But that's what these